Namaste and welcome to a new series reading from the ancient Chinese text, the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tsu. Before I start this series, as always, deep veneration to my Gurudev Sri Ananta, who has inspired and instructed me to read from this ancient text. And much like earlier, as with the reading excerpts from Vasishta's Yoga by Swami Venkateshananda, followed by the series of reading from the translated version of Ashtavakra Gita by Bart Marshall. This particular version of the Tao Te Ching, which I shall be reading, has been recommended by my Gurudev. A translation of Tao Te Ching by Ursula K. Le Guin. And the book is titled A Book About the Way and the Power of the Way. Le Guin's English version has a fresh and intuitive rendering that speaks to my heart, and it has been a delight to immerse in this ever since I received this version from my Satguru. So with deep gratitude and salutations to Gurudev, I offer this reading at his holy feet. Moving on a little bit about Tao Te Ching, the author, and its contemporary context. In the introduction penned by Ursula K. Guin, she states that Tao Te Ching was probably written about 2500 years ago, perhaps by a man called Lao Tsu, who may have lived at about the same time as Confucius. Nothing about it is certain except that it's Chinese, very old, and speaks to people everywhere as if it had been written yesterday. Little can be said with absolute certainty about the origins of the Tao Te Ching. Consensus suggests it was written around 400 BC by one Lao Tzu. Loosely translated, it simply means old master, a hint that the author's true name has been lost forever. Tao Te Ching translates very roughly as, in quotes, the way of integrity. In its 81 verses, it delivers a treatise on how to live in the world with goodness and integrity, an important kind of wisdom in a world where many people believe such a thing to be impossible. About the philosophy and essence of the Tao Te Ching. Paradoxically, many readers derive more discomfort rather than comfort from the philosophy of the Tao Te Ching. It resembles the famous Zen koan. What is the sound of one hand clapping? It's because it's derived from a parallel philosophical tradition and exists to fulfill the same purpose. It's the compulsive need to answer unanswerable questions. That is, in the Taoist philosophy, the mind's great dysfunction. We are accustomed to perceiving our world and all the objects in it by naming them. But what if we stop obsessively naming everything and instead just rest in awareness? What the Tao Te Ching does time and time again is attempt to show us how we might see things if we could spend more time in awareness and less in naming and jumping into duality, into subject-object mode. One of the lines goes like this: practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. This sounds positively heretical to the work and productivity-obsessed modern mind. Perhaps if we were more aware, we would worry less and could see better what actually needs doing. But the central theme of the Tao Te Ching asks us to be aware not of the world, but ourselves. Self-awareness. We all know the term, but do we really know what it means? The Tao Te Ching is a 2500-year-old reminder that today, as then, every one of us has a choice to practice self-awareness and exercise our own power in and over the world. That might come as more of a nasty wake-up call than a comfort to some. It is unimaginably hard to do this, to stay conscious, day in and day out. As hard as it is for the moments that when we read it, the Tao Te Ching makes it seem at least possible. 2500 years after it was composed, we need the Tao Te Ching's lessons in self-awareness more than ever. So join me as I start this new series, reading from the Tao Te Ching, and I hope the ancient wisdom that is infused in these poetic verses touches your life and enlivens your heart in blessed ways. Once again, deep gratitude and veneration to my Satguru Ananta, by whose grace this series commences. Thank you.